Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. ConsenSys, which is an organization devoted to building out all things Ethereum, all things ETH, which was founded by Joe Lubin, who is the co-founder of Ethereum itself. Well, that organization, ConsenSys, has sued the SEC, and they sued all 5 SEC commissioners, including Kim Gensler. How about that? Now, let me just say, from a 6-year plus holder of XRP, that's me, 6+ year holder of XRP, let me just say, for me to the entire ETH community, I told you so. I told you so. I told you the SEC was a threat specifically to Ethereum, despite the 2018 Billy Boy Hinman Ethereum free pass speech. The most prolific Ethereum developers on the planet now clearly agree with me. But you see, the thing is, I was saying this 3 years ago. And I'm not the only one in the XRP community, but I was saying it. And it looks like they're just now playing catch-up, ConsenSys. Because here's the deal. The people that gave ETH a free pass are no longer in power at the SEC. And the people in power today at the SEC don't care what Jay Clayton and Billy Boy Hinman put in motion several years ago. The entire industry, the entire asset class has always been at risk. Since before the Ripple lawsuit, but that's when it became crystal clear that the SEC was going on like a full frontal assault here. But while a lot of the ETH holders were gleeful about this, gleeful about the attack on us XRP holders, we were warning. As a whole, our community is absolutely warning. No, this isn't just about XRP. This isn't just about Ripple. They're coming next for you, you little idiots, you little idiot sticks. And here we are. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, just as a reminder, I'm not going to read this article here, but here's an article. This is actually from April 18th, and the title is from CoinDesk. It can be said with confidence the SEC is investigating Ethereum. ConsenSys' Bill Hughes talks crypto law. Now, we knew that because actually in the later half of March this year, the story had broken. I covered it on the channel at the time, that there was a Wells notice issued to the Ethereum Foundation, which is, of course, separate from ConsenSys. And so that news had broke. And, of course, if there's a Wells notice issued, it's a virtual certainty there's going to be a lawsuit because clearly the 5 commissioners, the votes are there for something like that. And if it gets that far, I mean, it's just a foregone conclusion that it's going to happen. So there's going to be some lawsuits. And there were also other entities that that received Wells notices, and now because of this story breaking, that ConsenSys is they're being proactive. They're suing the SEC. Now we know that they are one of the organizations that received a Wells notice. So check this out. Here's the headline from Cointelegraph: ConsenSys files lawsuit against SEC and commissioners over Ether regulation. And folks, as I'm reading through this and getting you the latest, I want you to bask in the glory that is the conclusion of regulatory clarity for XRP, because we got it. We are my God, we got the shaft last market cycle, but now going into another mega bull run, XRP is the only large cap coin in existence that has legal clarity in the United States. There's just one. It's XRP. Now ETH, number 2 in market cap, under assault. Now, just to be clear, I'm not gleeful about that. I own ETH. I've been holding it. That's the first crypto I ever bought in my entire life on November 10th, 2017. I own it. I've owned it since that day. I do not want this to happen. I'm just doing what I think is reasonable and noting that, the tribalism in crypto, it's not helpful. And by highlighting this, I'm hoping that moving forward, we could recognize this is kind of stupid to act like this. Maybe let's not do that, which is what our XRP community was screaming the whole damn time. But anyway, piece reads as follows. Software development company ConsenSys filed a lawsuit against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and its 5 commissioners over claims they plan to regulate ETH as a security. In an April 25th filing in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas, ConsenSys alleged the SEC had orchestrated a campaign to seize control over the future of cryptocurrency with enforcement actions aimed at regulating Ether as a security. The company cited the SEC's record, also referring to Chair Gary Gensler's statements of declaring ETH was not a security as early as 2018, warning of the potential ramifications of the commission changing its position after firms had built businesses based on regulatory precedent. And folks, that is true. I had a post from, I got one here, somewhere around here. I think I do anyway. There's a post that shared, or maybe I don't have that one pulled up, but there was it is the case that when Kim Jong-Gensler in 2019 was a professor at MIT, he literally stated that he's not a security. Now he's in charge of the SEC, and he wants to light the whole thing on fire, basically. Taking the stance that, nope, securities violations. And it's extra hilarious. In fact, I'll pause to pull this up, too. There's this post from Fox Business Network journalist Eleanor Terrett, and she shared this post highlighting a video clip of Joe Lubin, who, again, is the co-founder of Ethereum and also the founder of ConsenSys. And she wrote, "This aged like milk," which is close to what I say. I frequently say, when things aren't aged so well, it aged like a fine milk. And she wrote here, in 2019, ConsenSys founder Joe Lubin said they are, quote, "big friends and fans," end quote, of the SEC, explaining that the agency views Bitcoin and Ether as decentralized and that no transactions involving those particular assets are considered to be securities. Well, womp womp. Guess that didn't play out so well, did it? You know what just popped in my head too? Oh my God, I forgot he said this. This is like, he should be so embarrassed of saying this, even if there were no litigation. But he called Gary Gensler, is either exactly this or something very close. He called Gary Gensler within the last year or two, like a shining knight or something, like a shining white knight or something like that in the world of crypto. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? It was so, I covered it at the time, and I was just, you gotta be kidding me. You should be so embarrassed publicly calling Kim Jong-Gensler like a knight of any capacity. The savior out there protecting the little guy. No! But that's because at the time, I guess he still was under the false impression that, no, the ETH people, we bought and paid for our safety, right? Well, that didn't really pan out here. Anyway, back to the article, though. From Cointelegraph, it reads as follows. And they're covering, this is a quote, so this is from the filing here from ConsenSys. The SEC's unlawful seizure of authority over ETH would spell disaster for the Ethereum network and for ConsenSys. Every holder of ETH, including ConsenSys, would fear violating the securities laws if he or she were to transfer ETH on the network. And the ability of anyone new to acquire ETH to use Ethereum's repository of decentralized applications and services would be extinguished. This would bring use of the Ethereum blockchain in the United States to a halt, crippling one of the internet's greatest innovations, end quote. And you know what? If you idiots over there had rallied together with Ripple and the XRP community and everybody else out there, you perhaps could have gotten enough, made enough of an impact that we could have gotten some bigger things in motion and sooner with Congress to squash this crap. Now how you gonna act? Because it's right on your doorstep, you idiots. Bunch of damn fools. And I don't want this to happen to them, but my God, it's very clear that people in these organizations felt like the XRP community was the enemy. I mean, blocking all sorts of people on social media, this or that. Just, you guys were here for the last few years. You know the whole thing here. And so, no, I don't want that to happen. I don't want anything bad to happen to ETH. And no, of course, ETH itself is not a security because no asset itself is a security. Nothing it's in and of itself for the sake of existing is a security unless it's in the actual definition of what a security is. Like, for instance, a stock. That is literally within the definition of what a security is. Quite literal. So a stock, by definition, can only be a security, right? But if it's not listed in the long definition, because there's like 50 freaking things listed in that definition. If it's not listed there, it is not, by the nature of existing, a security. ETH's not listed. Digital assets aren't listed. Cryptocurrencies aren't listed. And so they're not, obviously. So I'm on their side in terms of I don't want this to happen. But I can't give them a pass on some of the behavior and overlooking the importance of what happened to the XRP community, all those holders out there. I can't, turn a blind eye to them, just pretend like they didn't ignore us for all those years. They could have been fighting alongside us, but they didn't do it. They were tribal. But of course, they thought that they paid the money necessary to, did whatever they had, the connections they had, whatever happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. They did enough so that they thought that they were safe, which again, I think is stupid because there's turnover even at the highest levels at the SEC. Why would you think that you're actually good for all time? I mean, yeah, and I said too, like, I didn't think it was probable that anybody building anything on top of ETH or the founders of Ethereum, I didn't think it was probable they'd get attacked, but I did warn years ago. There were multiple instances on this channel of me warning, don't think it can't happen to you. And I even said there's turnover at the SEC. I warned about this. And again, I know I'm not the only one, but geez, how could these guys be so dim-witted as to not recognize that? They were never safe, not with a guaranteed, like, there's no rubber stamp on that. Completely ridiculous. Anyway, piece continues. ConsenSys alleged that the SEC had trained its sites on the firm's MetaMask wallet software, which allows users to self-custody ETH and other cryptocurrencies. The company said in the filing that they received a Wells notice from the SEC on April 10th, warning of potential enforcement actions related to its MetaMask swaps and MetaMask staking products. It added that the SEC said in a phone conference that ConsenSys was operating as an unregistered broker-dealer. Though the lawsuit specifically named all 5 SEC commissioners in their official capacity, it also targeted Gensler's inconsistent statements on Ether. The SEC chair ducked questions on whether ETH was under the commission's regulatory reach in April 2023 hearing, despite saying in 2018, when he was a university professor, that Ether was not a security. According to ConsenSys, the firm received 3 subpoenas in 2023 regarding requests for information related to acquisitions, holdings, and sales of ETH. The company reiterated that the SEC's ongoing efforts to classify Ether as a security pull the rug from firms attempting to operate in good faith with regulatory guidelines. It requested official relief by having a court declaring ETH is not a security under the Securities Act and that ConsenSys' sales of ETH are not sales of securities. Folks, does that sound strikingly similar to the perspective that we in the XRP community have had and the perspective that Ripple has had? And I imagine that they should be feeling jealous right now, that they would be feeling jealous right now, because what they're asking the court to declare about ETH is what the court declared about XRP, that it's not a security. So ETH is behind XRP now in this capacity. Well, how about that? ConsenSys filed the lawsuit in Texas, where the company maintains a headquarters in Fort Worth. The state's federal districts have been a bit of a hotspot for crypto-related legal matters. On April 23rd, the Blockchain Association and Crypto Freedom Alliance of Texas sued the SEC over expansion efforts to its dealer rule. In February, the Texas Blockchain Council and Riot Platforms filed a lawsuit over information on energy usage from crypto miners. Though the SEC had not filed a lawsuit against ConsenSys at the time of publication, a Wells notice can sometimes be a sign that the commission plans to bring an enforcement action. So pause, they're going to. And so I know it's not technically 100% certain, but they're going to. Yes, that is what that means. Because you look at you understand what 3 of the 5 commissioners believe about crypto. They will attack it consistently. And that's all you need is the 3 out of the 5. They got it. Then they wrap up by stating the SEC has ongoing civil cases against Coinbase, Binance, and Ripple, and recently wrapped up a trial in an action against Terraform Labs and Do Kwon. So there we are. We were warning for years. We were saying, hey, as a community, maybe you should play some ball with us, maybe work with us, try and squash this SEC nonsense. It's a tremendous jurisdictional overreach. They're going to crap on everything. They're not going to just stop at XRP. But no. This is why we can't have nice things, folks. But here we are. Obviously, we were correct. So I do like that ConsenSys is getting aggressive about this and moving forward with this legal action. before they even technically get sued by the SEC, which is just a matter of time. As far as whether or not the court's going to just be like, yeah, we're just going to declare exactly what y'all want. Well, this is gonna play out over a span of years in all likelihood. And this is happening during the bull run. So I don't know if the market's going to care as much as it ruined XRP last market cycle, but I think there's more confidence that it's very clear the SEC is overreaching, and so people might be less timid. That's possible. But we'll have to see though, because technically the SEC hasn't come out and actually sued ConsenSys or the Ethereum Foundation yet. So wait for that ball to drop and we'll see how the market behaves. But it might just be the case that, especially since Ripple got the win, XRP community got the win, maybe there's going to be less concern about stuff like this moving forward, because it's just like, oh, another day, another lawsuit. Maybe that'll be the attitude moving forward. We'll see. And plus, we already saw that coins can get the victory that the SEC thought was impossible, because XRP was declared to not be a security. So I think that would do a lot to provide additional confidence. So we'll see what happens for the bull run. But either way, I'm just glad that XRP is clear. We'll see what happens. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.